There's nothing more exciting than joining in on the celebrations after a successful touchdown with your team in the NFL. Showing tremendous emotion is a manner of appreciation we all share, whether present at the stands or watching at home on TV. However, over the last decade, the NFL has been throwing flags, fining players, and taking drastic steps to prevent players from expressing themselves after scoring touchdowns or picking off passes. That's why the No Fun League has earned quite a reputation for being the pettiest league on the planet. Despite loosening some of the rules in more recent times, there are still penalties and fines for players who cross the line. Hello everyone, and welcome to Everything Sports. In this video, we're taking a look at touchdown celebrations banned in the NFL this season. Before we jump into it, don't forget to click the like button, share, subscribe, and press that notification bell for more updates. Pretending to shoot a gun or a bow and arrow. The famous machine gun celebration is often an expression of dominance and machismo that is currently banned in the NFL, despite the fanfare of panning an imaginary automatic machine gun through your teammates and opponents. The look and the significance of the imaginary is now considered, as it should, a negative act. In a country that faces the biggest gun-related incidents in the world, it makes sense that the NFL deemed it illegal to initiate or imitate such a violent act. This notion of firing at someone, whether it's a gun or even a bow and arrow, can lead to serious penalties, fines, and a suspension. Eagles linebacker Brian Rowley did this back in 2011, pretending to shoot a machine gun after making a big play, and ended up getting fined $10,000. Dunking the football over the goalpost. While the NFL has relaxed its rule over players celebrating a big touchdown by pretending to shoot a football like a basketball, where the player throws the football like a basketball over the goalpost, the act of imitating a dunk over the goalpost is still considered illegal. This is because every time a player dunked a football, there's the risk of moving the actual goalpost ever so slightly due to the movement, which could cause a delay in play. Prior to this correlation of the rule, some players still shoot jumpers over the crossbar, which was then under the basketball move rule, leading to hefty fines. In 2016, Redskins tight end Vernon Davis got fined more than $12,000 for shooting a jumper over the goalpost after scoring a touchdown. The backlash of this absurd rule caused the NFL to review and specify this regulation, since the act of throwing the ball over the bar is unlike dunking and is the same as having the ball going over or hitting the goalpost when a field goal is made. Sexual suggestive motions. The NFL, despite its clashing and intense action, is still a family-based product intended for the entertainment of all members of society and the family. With the sport enjoyed by most adults and plenty of underage family members enjoying a Sunday night game of football, every moment in the game is gawked at by millions of eyes. This is why any act of celebration that implies sexually suggestive motions and innuendos may be caused to a 15-yard penalty along with a hefty fine. This is exactly what happened to Antonio Brown when he twerked at the end zone, as he was fined over $9,000 for the act. Even Odell Beckham Jr. was fined over $12,000 for staying on the ground on all fours, raising a leg, and imitating a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. In 2005, Minnesota Vikings receiver Randy Moss was fined by the NFL for $10,000 after the player ran over to the goalpost after catching a 34-yard touchdown pass, bent over, and pretended to show his backside to the crowd. The mooning irked the people in attendance and prompted the fine from the league. Images of violence. Touchdown celebrations invoke jubilant emotions that are mostly positive and fun in nature. After all, they have done a positive act of claiming a score. This is why the NFL doesn't condone violent taunts and gestures that suggest offensive imagery. Much like the first item on the list, where gun taunts are considered a no-no, violent taunts such as throat slashes or knife stabs to the body are also banned in the NFL. Even a celebration from a player who scores a touchdown, acting like he's receiving a beatdown from his teammates, can assure a flag being thrown by the referee. Anything that simulates a violent act, dangerous weapons, and offensive gestures that are violent in nature will end in punishment fines. In 2011, wide receiver Steve Johnson of the Buffalo Bills got fined $10,000 and a penalty of 15 yards during the game when he celebrated a touchdown by mimicking to shoot himself in the leg, a reenactment of Broncos cornerback Plaxico Burress' incident where he shot himself in the leg at a club in 2008. These acts are considered negative imagery and are not condoned by the league, since the viewership of the sport is wide and far-reaching, and the impressions made from these violent simulations can always raise some eyebrows. Using props. A player and his team has all the right to display their joy on the field after a successful touchdown, as long as they follow all the rules, play safe and smart, and celebrate only with the game football. Using props other than the ball is also banned under NFL regulation and can lead to huge fines if not followed. While the rule exists today and players are expected to follow it to the T, many celebrations throughout the years have been made with the use of props. These acts, through an expression of a player or players, aren't made solely for their enjoyment. Instead, it's clearly to engage their fan base, who are all celebrating alongside the players through each play. And despite the rules, players still break this particular one and are often ready to pay up, no matter how huge the fines can get. Some of the most memorable touchdown celebrations have happened with props, such as Chad Johnson, who also played the game as Chad Ochocinco. Johnson earned nationwide attention for his flamboyant end zone celebrations after catching touchdown passes. He once used the line pylon to putt the football onto the end zone and got fined $5,000 for the skit. In another instance, after scoring a touchdown, he put on a huge sombrero and paraded the outfit, which caused him to dish out $30,000. For Johnson, the showboating is part of his NFL persona, with the fans loving every celebration. He sees it to be worth any fine the league may place on him for these joyful bursts, and even prepares up to $100,000 per season just for celebratory fines. Considering that these players are paid in digits higher than that, it's safe to say that he's spending for a good cause. So what do you think about these touchdown celebrations banned in the NFL this season? We'd love to hear what you think about them by commenting below. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more videos just like this one.